Take a look at the $10 bill in your wallet right now. Really look at it. It feels real, doesn't it? It has a serial number. It has the seal of the Treasury. It has Alexander Hamilton staring back at you. We go to work every day, trading hours of our lives to collect these pieces of paper, believing they hold power, believing they hold value. But if you walk into a grocery store today in 2025, what is that $10 actually worth? If you're lucky, you might walk out with a gallon of milk and a loaf of bread. Maybe a carton of eggs if they aren't surging in price this week. That is it. That is the extent of your labor. 2 or 3 items in a plastic bag. Now, I want you to close your eyes and imagine stepping into a time machine. We are going back 70 years. The date is December 21st, 1955. We are taking that exact same $10 bill with us. We aren't going back to buy a snack. We are going back to fill a shopping cart. When we walk through those automatic doors in 1955, we are going to witness a crime scene, because the difference between what $10 bought then and what it buys now isn't just inflation, it is theft. It is the slow, methodical erosion of your time, your effort, and your quality of life. Today, we are going grocery shopping in the golden age of the American middle class. We are going to find out exactly what they took from you. Before we grab our cart, we have to understand the world we are walking into. It is easy to look at old prices and say, well, people made less money back then, and that is true, but the math isn't that simple. In 1955, the American economy was a manufacturing juggernaut. We produced what we consumed. The minimum wage was 75 cents an hour, and the average annual salary was roughly $4,200. That sounds low, but in 1955, the money was heavy. It had density. A silver quarter in your pocket literally contained silver. The currency was backed by something real, and because of that, prices were remarkably stable. You didn't wake up worrying if the price of meat was going to double next month. The grocery store itself was becoming a modern miracle. This was the era of the supermarket. Wide aisles, bright fluorescent lights, and something that was brand new to the human experience: endless choice. For the first time in history, kings and queens didn't eat as well as the average factory worker. So let's grab a metal cart, one of those heavy ones with the squeaky wheel, and start down the first aisle. We have $10 to spend. Let's see how heavy the cart gets.
We start with the basics, the foundation of every family meal. First, the bread. In 2025, a standard loaf of white bread is largely air and preservatives, and it will cost you anywhere from $2.50 to $4. In 1955, a loaf of bread cost 18 cents. Think about the labor cost. If you were working for minimum wage in 1955, you earned enough to buy 4 loaves of bread with a single hour of work. Today, on the federal minimum wage, you are lucky to earn enough for 2. The purchasing power of the lowest paid worker has been cut in half, just on wheat and flour. Next, we move to the dairy aisle. In 1955, milk was often still delivered to your doorstep, but in the supermarket, you could pick up a quart for about 23 cents. That translates to roughly 90 cents a gallon. But let's talk about the eggs. This is where the comparison gets painful. Recently, we have seen egg prices swing violently, sometimes hitting $4 or $5 a dozen. In 1955, a dozen large grade A eggs cost roughly 60 cents. Now, you might be doing the mental math and thinking, 60 cents? That sounds high for 1955. And you are right, relatively speaking, eggs were a premium source of protein. But there's a hidden detail here: the quality. These weren't factory-farmed eggs from chickens that never saw the sun. These were local. The supply chain was shorter. When you bought food in 1955, you were paying for the product, not the diesel fuel to truck it 3,000 miles across the country. So far, we have bread, milk, and eggs in our cart.
We have spent less than $2. In 2025, your $10 bill is already gone. You're walking out of the store right now. But in 1955, we're just getting warmed up.
We are heading to the back of the store now, the butcher counter. This is the most important part of the tour. Economists often track the prosperity of a nation by how much protein its citizens can afford. In developing nations, meat is a luxury. In 1955 America, meat was a standard. Let's look at the prices on the chalkboard. Pork chops, center cut, 50 cents a pound. Bacon, the good stuff, 65 cents a pound. Roast beef, 59 cents a pound. But the king of the counter is the steak. Today, a decent sirloin steak is a luxury item. You put it in the cart, you look at the price tag, $15, $20 a pound, and you hesitate. You put it back. You grab the ground beef instead. In 1955, sirloin steak was 89 cents a pound. Let me repeat that, 89 cents. This meant that a man working a standard blue-collar job could feed a family of 4 a steak dinner for roughly $2. It wasn't a birthday treat. It wasn't for the rich. It was Sunday dinner. If you have parents or grandparents who were around in the 50s, ask them about Sunday roast. Ask them if they remember the smell of pot roast cooking all afternoon. That tradition didn't die because we stopped liking roast beef. It died because we couldn't afford the beef anymore. If you're enjoying this breakdown of history, do me a favor and like this video. It helps the algorithm find other people who are tired of being lied to about inflation. And let me know in the comments, what was the cheap meal your family ate growing up? Back to the cart. We are gonna load up. Let's grab 3 pounds of steak, 2 pounds of bacon for breakfast, and a 5-pound roasting chicken. The chicken is about 43 cents a pound. Our cart is getting heavy now. We have enough protein to feed a family for a week, and we still haven't spent half of our money. We are moving into the middle aisles now, the dry goods, the canned goods. This is where you see the brands you recognize, the red and white Campbell's soup cans, the boxes of Kellogg's Corn Flakes. The branding hasn't changed much in 70 years, but something else has. Let's pick up a can of tomato soup. In 1955, 10 cents. You could get 10 cans for $1. Today, you're looking at $1.50 to $2 a can. But hold on, we need coffee. Now, I want to be historically accurate here. In the mid-50s, coffee prices actually spiked. There was a massive frost in Brazil in 1954 that killed the crops, and Americans were furious. Coffee prices shot up to nearly $1 a pound. People protested. They wrote letters to Congress. They thought $1 for a pound of coffee was highway robbery. Think about that. They were ready to riot over $1. Today, you walk into a coffee shop and spend $7 for a latte that is mostly milk and sugar, and you tap your card without blinking. We have been conditioned to accept prices that would have caused a revolution 70 years ago. And here's the other thing, the size of the container. In 1955, a pound of coffee was 16 ounces. A pound of bacon was 16 ounces. Today, look closely at the package. That pound of coffee is 12 ounces. That package of bacon is 12 ounces. They kept the price the same or raised it and quietly stole 25% of the product. It's called shrinkflation, and in 1955, it would have been called fraud. Let's grab the coffee. Let's grab a box of corn flakes for 18 cents. Let's grab 2 boxes of spaghetti for 15 cents each. And for a treat, Coca-Cola, a 6-pack of glass bottles, 25 cents, plus a 2-cent deposit on the bottles because we didn't just throw glass in the trash back then, we reused it. Our cart is overflowing. We have breakfast, lunch, and dinner covered. We have snacks, we have drinks. We have to hit the produce section before we leave. In 2025, buying fresh fruits and vegetables can feel like a punishment. A bag of apples, $6. A head of iceberg lettuce, $2 or $3. In 1955, potatoes,
10 pounds for 59 cents. Carrots, 2 bunches for 19 cents. Lettuce, 2 heads for 25 cents. Apples, 3 pounds for 49 cents. We throw a 10-pound bag of potatoes into the bottom of the cart. That is the base of 10 different meals right there. The difference here isn't just price, it's the farming. In 1955, the aggressive use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides was just beginning, but the soil still had nutrients. An apple in 1955 had more magnesium, more iron, and more calcium than an apple today. You're paying 10 times the price today for a fruit that is chemically larger but nutritionally hollow. You are eating the ghost of an apple. All right, the shopping is done. The cart is full. We head to the front of the store. There are no self-checkout machines. There is a cashier, and there is a bag boy. He is going to pack your groceries into brown paper bags, thick ones that don't rip when you look at them. Let's tally it up. We have the bread, the milk, the eggs. We have 3 pounds of sirloin steak, 2 pounds of bacon, a whole chicken, 10 pounds of potatoes, vegetables, soup, coffee, cereal, pasta, and a 6-pack of Coke. The register rings. The mechanical numbers spin. Click-clunk, click-clunk. The total comes to $9.92. We hand over our single $10 bill. The cashier hands us 8 cents in change, actual copper pennies. We walk out with 5 massive bags of groceries. Now, let's do the math. If you plug $10 from 1955 into an official government CPI inflation calculator, it will tell you that $10 is worth about $115 today. So the government claims that $10 then is the same as $115 now. But here is the question. Can you walk into a grocery store today with $115 and buy everything we just bought? Can you get 3 pounds of premium sirloin, 2 pounds of bacon, a whole chicken, 10 pounds of potatoes, and weeks' worth of dry goods for $115? Maybe, if you buy the lowest quality meat, if you buy the generic brands, if you use coupons. But in 1955, this wasn't a budget shop. This was standard. We bought the best cuts. We bought the brand names. To replicate this exact cart today with the same quality organic meat and produce, you aren't looking at $115. You are looking at $200, maybe $250 depending on where you live. So where is the gap? Where did the money go? The official numbers lie. They tell you inflation is under control. They tell you the economy is strong, but your eyes tell you the truth. Your bank account tells you the truth. The truth is that the standard of living has collapsed. In 1955, one income, that factory worker making $4,000 a year, could buy this cart of groceries every single week, pay the mortgage, buy a car, and still save money. Today, you need 2 incomes just to keep the fridge full.
As we load these imaginary bags into our car, which, by the way, we will talk about in a few days, you have to ask yourself, is this progress? We have iPhones, we have Netflix, we have faster cars, but we have lost the ability to simply exist without financial anxiety. We have lost the ability to feed our families high-quality food without taking out a second mortgage. That $10 bill in 1955 was a key. It unlocked a week of security. Today, that same bill is a ticket to a single meal, if you're lucky. This wasn't an accident. Prices didn't just go up. The value of your labor was siphoned off year after year, decade after decade, by a system that requires you to run faster just to stay in the same place. We are starting a journey here. Over the next 10 days, we are going to tear apart the financial history of the last century. We are going to look at housing, cars, healthcare, and taxes. If you think the grocery store was shocking, wait until tomorrow. Tomorrow, we are going to look at housing. We are going to look at the $8,000 house and ask why your children will likely never own a home. You do not want to miss that. Make sure you are subscribed. Hit the notification bell, because the only way to understand where we are going is to understand exactly what was taken from us. I'll see you in the next one.